Welcome, everybody, to the Hounds Tales podcast. This is your home for field trialing and deer dog hunting. It'll be stories and discussions on the world of dog hunting. So let's drop the gate, cast your hounds, and get ready for another episode of the Hounds Tales podcast. The Hounds Tales podcast is proud to partner with Outdoor Dog Supply again for the 2025 season. Outdoor Dog Supply is the leader in online garment sales with their world-class trade-in programs. These guys are not just a business, they're also houndsmen and women too. They test their products out in the field and really put them to the test. Get the latest in garment equipment, stay locked and ready with field trial equipment, collars, leashes, and so much more. Visit their website today at outdoordogsupply.com, and we want to thank Outdoor Dog Supply for their support not only for the podcast, but in the field trials across the country. When you're looking for your next purchase and equipment, keep Outdoor Dog Supply in mind. Now let's get this episode started, guys. Thank y'all so much. Welcome, everybody, to the Hounds Tales podcast. On this episode, we are joined by Mr. Ben and Paul. And now y'all tell me, make sure I don't screw this up. Is it Caskey?
You right, yes sir.
I got it on the money that time. I feel like that's one of the biggest questions whenever y'all's pen gets brought up is how to say it correctly.
Yes sir, we've heard it a few different ways, but yes sir, Caskey, you got it.
Caskey, okay, gotcha. Perfect. Like I said before we got started, I definitely appreciate y'all coming on. This has been about 2 months in the making now, ain't it?
Yes sir. Better late than never.
That's right. So we'll kind of do a little introduction here, if y'all don't mind. Just kind of introduce. I got both of y'all here, so just kind of y'all introduce yourselves. Kind of tell us where you're from and how long y'all been into hounds, into hound hunting.
I'll let you start. You go ahead.
All right, my name's Paul Caskey. I've had hounds. I'm 51 years old, so I've had hounds for 51 years. So, and that's started really field trialing at that age, about 13 or 14 years old. So
Okay.
I had hounds my whole life and started field trialing about the age of 14.
I gotcha. What about you, Ben?
Yeah, I am 29. I'll be 30 in October. A lot like Paul, not as many years, but as many years as I've been alive and breathing, I've been around a field trial somewhere. I've been fortunate to cover a good bit of ground and cover pens. I was trying to write some down and try to figure. I know I've been as far as Louisiana and as far up as Virginia and Tennessee. As far as competing in field trials, whether judging or running.
Right.
So I've had my fair share of it myself as far as being able to travel and be part of the fox hunting world for a while, whether it's field trial or judging, and I'm blessed and thankful for that.
Very nice. That's a lot. It sounds like a big spread that you got going on there for sure.
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Paul, it sounds like you were born into the hounds, if I'm understanding that correctly.
That's right. Yeah.
Now, as far as the field trial and stuff, you said about 14 or 15. How did that kind of come about? Who got you into the competitive side, into the field trialing?
It's kind of funny. I know I was listening to your podcast with Dylan Chapman here the other week, and my dad and grandpa, we always raised dogs and had different dogs and stuff. But a friend of ours actually deer hunted with us. He pulled out. He was looking through the old chase. He said, "Got an old fella I've called down here that's got some foxhounds, and I'm gonna go down and get some from you. Y'all might want to be interested in getting some." And going back to what Dylan Chapman said, he got their first field trial foxhounds from Mr. James Artis, and that is the guy that Mr. Buxton Starr had found in the chase, and that was our first. We actually went down on a Sunday afternoon to get one hound, and ended up coming home with 9 that afternoon. Yep. A lot of our first field trial dogs, and the first field trial I was ever a part of, Mr. James Artis, he helped us get it started and helped us, be a part of it and get it going and everything. So he was a big part of that. But
wow.
Our first field trial dogs come from Mr. James Artis.
Well, how ironic is that weeks after I record with him that the same story gets told?
Actually, when I heard that, I was laughing. I said, that's hard to believe.
That's awesome. I love that. Do you remember what those dogs were off of? Go back in the archives there.
Yeah, that goes way back there. It was a lot of different a lot of different stuff that Mr. James had. I had to go back and look at some of the stuff, some of the stud dogs from way back. But it was it was a lot. And the reason we looked up his name, he showed up at a field trial. He was going to place 4 or 5 of the top 10. He was very dominant in the years back. So
Gotcha.
We wanted to go where somebody was very competitive, and that's where we started.
Hey, that's no better place to start.
That's right.
So, so was he the salesman, and that's why you walked away with 9 instead of the 1, or did?
He was just no. He actually seen that, me as a young hunter with my dad and stuff. He kept putting dogs in the truck. He was one of these that liked to help a young man out.
Yeah. Was it helping out, or was it overloading?
Yeah, probably some of both.
Yeah, that's right. So, did y'all have any kind of success with those first set of dogs?
Oh yes, actually, some of those first dogs. One of them was actually one of the best deer hounds that I ever put a collar on. He was unbelievable. But there was some good hounds. It really was.
Gotcha. Was it more a little bit more or were y'all doing in the wire, or a little more out the wire back in that time?
A little of both.
Okay.
I grew up my younger years. We was a lot of I used to run a lot of outside field trials, and we outside fox hunted as well as deer hunted. We kept broke fox dogs, so we fox hunted and went to outside trials as well as pens. We've tried to over the years work hard at keeping a hound that was very competitive. It can do it inside and outside the wire, and that's just what we like to do.
I understand that. That's a good way to be. That's for sure. So, Mr. Ben, as far as you go, obviously you were born into the competitive side. What's kind of some of your earliest, I know this is kind of probably a very open-ended, loaded question, but what's some of your more earliest memories and kind of the things that was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to keep doing this, and this is a family thing now. What kind of gave that spark as you got older and you got into it?
Well, I've always loved being around the hounds. It's always been, I guess I can say a passion. I was able to be around a lot of these pens, the bigger ones that were left when I was younger. 2 of them right here in South Carolina was the Pamplico pen, East Carolina pen.
Right.
Also, the one Low Country Fox Run right outside of Manning here. I was able to go to both of those pens and take in a lot of field trials. I remember we would load up on Wednesday afternoon and be gone, be at the pen for 3.5 days, take the camper. I can just remember some of my best memories as a young boy being able to go to the field trials and many dogs there. It was just some memories that I'll never forget. And that was a big factor in me wanting to continue, as I got older, being a part of it, and I've enjoyed it ever since. I'll always remember those days as when I was younger, able to go to those field trials, and I've made many memories with some guys that are my age we ran around when we were those little young guys running around the pen catching dogs,
right?
riding on the trailer, going in the pen to watch the crossings.
Right.
Those are just some memories that I'll never forget, and I really think that had a lot to do. That still had a lot to do with me being a part of it like I am today.
Right.
I've always told, and I don't remember this, but I was told at 2 weeks old I was in the car seat riding around hunting. So I would say as much as I'm involved, I can believe that to be true.
You could almost say it was bred into you then, huh?
I reckon so. I've been in it for that long. Why get out now,
That's right. You got any kids of your own?
I do not. Me and my wife have been married about 2.5 years, but we do not yet.
That sounds like it's about time.
Yes, sir.
So, we kind of touched on it there for a second earlier. Y'all's Fox Preserve or y'all's pen. I guess the nickname, if I'm not mistaken, is the Big Rock.
That's right.
What's the story behind the pen and when did that get started?
Well, a little bit about that. Like I said, I used to be some of my mentors was Mr. Julian Wolf. He had Wolfman Smokey and Bobby Mackey. That's just people that I outside field trial with and stuff. And we got to having a little trouble running outside, and we decided just to build a pen so we'd have somewhere to run. So the pen is actually, and we've been there for 21 years.
Oh wow, okay.
And A little bit about it. It's Caskey's Training Preserve, but the first year we built it, our first 3-day was the Big Rock Masters, and so we've had that. We've had it. We had our 21st year this year of the Big Rock Masters, and the Big Rock Masters come around. If you've ever been to Caskey's Training Preserve and ride down in it, you will see some big old rocks. There's some rocks big as a house, so that's where the name of the Big Rock come from the rocks. That's a real prestigious name. Mr. Richard Evans owned the Big Pen at Manning. He actually won the first Big Rock.
Okay.
Mr. Charlie won the Big Rock one year there. And Mr. Charlie actually he was sitting there before one of the hunts, and he told me to go to town and get him some paint. And there's a rock painted there. I don't know if you've ever
seen the pictures. Yeah.
Mr. Charlie Graham actually painted that rock by hand and free-handed the Big Rock Masters on that.
No kidding.
And he did that years ago, and that's kind of momentum, for us there. That's something to kind of look up to. But
yeah, no kidding.
A lot of good dogs have won that Big Rock Masters over the years.
I hear it's I haven't made it down there myself, but from what I hear, it's a very it's definitely got a reputation. It's very prestigious. From what everybody is, the way everybody talks about it is, if you go down there and you're successful at that hunt, then you got yourself a dog.
Yes, sir.
So how in the world do y'all get that paint to stay on there like that?
It's actually do a good paint job here for long. I've hated to paint it again, but we're going to have to do it here for long.
I was wondering. That's a long time for that paint to stay on a rock like that.
Yep. We're going to let Benjamin repaint it this time.
There you go.
I will say it's held its own over the years, and it's done well. There's been a lot of pictures taken on that rock, whether just from some traveling, wanting to make a memory, saying they were there,
yep.
or maybe the dogs that have won. There's been a lot of pictures taken on that rock, so it's kind of hard to touch it and go over something that he done years ago. It's kind of want to leave it there as long as we could.
I understand that. They need to put some clear coat or something like that over it, maybe see if it'll hold on a little longer.
That's right. But the pen is definitely full of rocks, and I tell you, there are some big ones in there for sure.
How big is the pen?
327 acres.
Okay. All right. It's a good size pen.
Yep.
Good size pen. Now, like I said, I've never been down there, and for the guys that haven't, that are listening, what kind of running is it down there? You got thick? Is it open? What kind of conditions you got going on?
Everybody's always said it. It's a fast pen, but it takes a good track running dog at the Big Rock. We have some cut downs and some open pines on part of it. It just a good track running dog is what really works there.
Gotcha. I like that. That's I don't mind a good old fast dog, but one where you have to hold a track, where you have to actually be a dog. You can't just be a greyhound and run out and try to beat everybody on speed. That's the kind of pens I like.
That's right.
So obviously y'all have had it. It's very well established. It's definitely got a reputation. Y'all have the prestigious hunts. Where do you want to see the pen go for the future? Is there something that y'all have planned? Is there something that y'all want to see, or are y'all just happy where it's at?
Not particular. Just along for the ride, and if we can provide a place for young kids to come and enjoy themselves and learn the sport and everything, that's just what we're there for.
I like that.
We try to be there for people, and just my goal is to have a field trial make the next one better than the one before, and it's been that way for years. That's just what we try to do.
Gotcha. And y'all have a 2-day derby before the Big Rock Masters, don't you?
Usually we do. This year's going to be a little backwards because of the way several things are going. Normally we have the Big Rock Derby. There's been several hounds over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Crisco's Newbern won the Derby and then turned around a month later and won the All Age.
No kidding.
Charlie do it too. I can't remember if Charlie did it or not. There's been only 2 dogs that done it, but I know Newbern did it. He won back to back, and that's been a kind of a prestigious thing over the years. Try to win the Derby and turn around and win the All Age later, but I know Newbern did it. I'm not sure. There's one other dog that might have done it. But usually we do the Derby beforehand. This year it's kind of backwards. We're having the 3-day in the end of April and then the 2-day in May.
I got you. What brought that on?
Just scheduling.
I got you.
Trying to schedule run other hunts, and of course the All-American will be at Swainsboro, so we'll be there 1st of April, and just trying to branch around and make sure we can make all the other hunts work.
I understand that. I had that one on the man. I had that one on the bingo card, man. I wanted to get down there for the All-American, something fierce, but way this weather lined up here for us, and the way the running got kind of cut down on us, it just ain't happening.
That's right.
That's definitely one of those hunts that I'm definitely ready to make that trip. How many of y'all plan on taking to that hunt?
I know 4, maybe 5.
Okay.
Probably 4.
Okay. The Hounds podcast would like to take a minute and talk about our friends over at Cajun Lights. When pleasure running at night or judging those nighttime field trials, you can put your trust in Cajun Lights. With the economical Cajun Bayou for the every now and then light user, the Cajun Micro for the nighttime feeds and around the house times, then the top level Cajun Blinder for those hardcore crossing getters at night. The Cajun Lights are headlamp style light that free up your hands for voice recorders or your GPS. They offer flood style lights in red, amber, and a white walking light. Then the top of the line 4-level main beam light. If you're having a hard time catching crossings at night, give the Cajun Light a try. And the red and amber setting to catch the game without distracting them, and with the easy flick of a switch, go back to your main beam light to catch your hounds in action and get those numbers. Visit their website today at CajunLights.com, and at the checkout, make sure you fill out the survey after your purchase and select Hounds Podcast to receive 5% off your next purchase with Cajun Lights. Now, let's get back to the episode. I got you. Well, we'll get into some of y'all's hounds a little bit more here in just a few minutes. But one thing I really want to talk to y'all about, and I know y'all are big into this, is the All-American Foxhound race. Whoever wants to take the wheel on that, just kind of explain to us, what it is and what the whole premise behind it is.
That's right. The All-American Foxhound race, it's a cumulative point system that is it counts all multiple day hunts that want to participate under all 3 affiliations, being the Nationals, Masters, and AFHA.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to reward the best hounds. That's at the end of the year. That's we obviously we recognize sire, Dan, kennel, and hound. We recognize them all, just like we did at our past banquet just a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
We had a hunting banquet, but the goal is to really reward the dogs that finish, in the top hounds, and reward them and give them as much recognition and reward as we can. The board of directors, and when we got this thing together, there's 11 total on the board of directors.
Okay.
And it's a great way for all the fox hunting through all out the East Coast, all the way. Whoever's involved in fox hunting, that deals with those 3 affiliations, it's a way for all of them to be able to compete together.
Right.
You in certain areas, maybe out west, you have field trials ran under different affiliations, and that way, the hunters out that way, as long as the hunts participate and they're willing to, those hunters can add up points throughout the year, and maybe they go to hunts affiliated with all 3 affiliations. Maybe they go to ones in that area that are, only 2 affiliations have hunts in that area.
Right.
It just depends on which area you're in, but this makes it to where all the hunts can count together and participate, and all the hunters can compete together, if you will.
Right.
And we can do our best to reward the best dogs in all the fox hunting, as long as the hunts participate and go from there.
Yeah, I like that. So
this is something that, like I said, this is the second full year of it.
Okay.
It seemed that the first year seemed to go great. We had a lot of participation. We've had a lot of good feedback about it, and we hope that everybody has enjoyed it this past year and will be willing to participate this year, like I say, so we can all of fox hunting, throughout the East Coast, all the way up to Virginia or wherever, if you will, ran under those 3 affiliations for multiple day hunts can compete together.
Right. So what does it take for a hunt to participate in the All-American Foxhound race?
So it has to have an affiliation with, have an affiliation with one of those 3, like I said,
right.
the Masters, Nationals, AFHA. Mm-hmm. It has to have an ad in the Hunter's Horn magazine month prior to the hunt being ran.
Okay.
and you'll be good to go as long as sending your results in and everything like that.
Okay. So who do you send the results in to? How does that work?
It's sent to me.
Okay.
The results are sent to me, and the fees are sent to me, which is simply $1 per dog is all that is. And the results are sent to me, and we get them calculated, and we try to every 30 to 45 days have a new update and try to just let people know where they are. That way they can travel to some hunts and make sure those hunts are participating. And if that's what they're wanting to do, and try to make the best for it, whether they want some kennel points or whether they got a hound that's really performing and they see that they can do well at the end of the year, and maybe get them a good little check.
There you go.
How it is.
That's right. That's right.
And the top hounds this year, the top 10 hounds, they were rewarded, and I think it was definitely worth it in the end for them to be able to go and participate and compete in some of these hunts that did participate in the All-American Foxhound race. So
awesome.
I think it was very worth it for those in the end, and we just hope that everybody enjoyed it and see the big picture that, we're just really trying to have something out there to where all hunts, that want to participate in all three affiliations can compete together under one round.
Awesome. I like that. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
There's no discrimination between hunts.
That's right.
So, is this all? I mean, is this all multi-days as far as derby hunts and three hunts?
That's correct. 2 days, 3 days. Yes, sir. It depends. Depending on whether it's a 2-day 5 hour each day, a 2-day 8 hour 7 hour, a 3-day 5 hours each day. Long multiple day hunt, 2+ days, 2 to 4 days. It's in.
Gotcha. Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So what brought this idea on? What was the whole idea and the premise of getting this together instead of just, it very well could have just left everything alone and been, let the Masters and the, Nationals and AFHA do their own thing. What was the idea behind making this thing happen?
It had been discussed. I mean, it had been discussed several times over the last few years about, wanting to have something where everybody can compete together, and when the opportunity was brought and it got discussed, there were several that thought it was a good idea to say, hey, why not we take a step forward and be able to have a point system where everybody can compete together. Like I said earlier, because you've got different areas may have hunts with all three affiliations in a local area.
Right.
That way they can compete, have all those hunts compete under one point system, and the dogs that are doing well get rewarded. So it was that was the main reason for it, for all the hunts, with all hunts in those three affiliations, multiple day hunts, to be able to compete together.
I like that. Yes, that. Sir. So how does the obviously there's a couple there's you got GTP, HGAs, that kind of stuff. How do y'all rank the points as far as first place gets X amount of points? How does that kind of a brief overview of how that works?
It's a pretty basic point system scale. It's pretty basic as far as there's no difference to where if it's an HGA or GTP as far as the point system is set up. It's mainly set up to whether how big of a hunt is, or whether it's a 3-day, 2-day type deal. Some of your bigger hunts like the All-American and the Masters and ones like that are obviously they'd be grade 1 hunts.
Gotcha.
And then you got grade 2, 3, 4 right on down. So that's how that would work out. So as far as GTP, HGA, there would be no difference.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yep, I understood.
That just all is based on which hunt it is and how many days it's ranged.
Gotcha.
And then we've got our Facebook page set up. If it, I know someone that may listen to this may not be following that page. It is called the All-American Foxhound Race. We try to keep everybody up to date with all the updated point systems on there, and just keep everybody up to date with the new rules and everything. So, like I say, anything you can find out on there, we got our Facebook page for that. And anything I can help you with, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll do my best to answer your question. Or if I can't answer it, we'll get it answered.
Perfect. I missed a topic that I wanted to kind of touch base with you on with the pen. I skipped over that for some reason. The whole internet messing up kind of messed me up a little bit. I wanted to touch base on this, and this is something I always like to hear is when you get the pen started, obviously you can't just throw game in there and start having hunts. How was that process of building the pen up and getting it started as far as getting your game conditioned to where it could handle a multi-day hunt? Was that a long drawn out process, or did it go fairly quick and seem to get your game right and able to have hunts like said?
It's always a work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
You want to. I mean, it's when you're always doing something to get to that point.
Right.
You really are. So there's always something to do. But game is you want the game to. The biggest part is taking care of your game.
That's right.
And making sure it's took care of and make sure it's ready for that. So
yeah.
It's always something to do to get ready to that point. You're always working to get to that point that you're talking about. So
right. Yeah, that's
there's always something to do.
And that's I'm sure that's still a yearly thing, especially with restocking pens and that kind of stuff. It's not something you can just dive into and keep running all age all the time.
No, you more can say like it's a daily process to stay where you need to be.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick second and pause this episode and talk about our partners over at Elite Nutrition. Our hounds, they're athletes, guys. They give us their all each and every time that they're casted. Elite Nutrition offers an all-natural products to give your dogs the natural benefits they deserve. From the canine remove and all-natural wormer to the Electro Boost paste for an electrolyte replenishment, body fluid balance, and blood flow improvement. They also have products like Active Dog Powder for recovery and joint muscle support, Essential Dog Powder for daily vitamins and minerals, probiotics, prebiotics, and enzymes, and then the canine lactate powder for nursing dogs to help with milk supply. There are tons of other products for y'all to check out at CajunLights.com. Then click on the Elite Nutrition section to explore. When you go check out, only at CajunLights.com, use the code HTElite10 to receive 10% off your Elite Nutrition products. Again, that's HTELITE, the number 10, to receive 10% off Elite Nutrition products only via CajunLights.com. I've been using their products over the past couple months, and I could not be happier with the results. See for yourself today, and we want to thank Elite Nutrition for taking a step forward into this field trial sport. Now, let's get back to the episode, guys. I understand. So let's dive into some of y'all's field trialing career. Obviously you said y'all have been around. I guess about 40 years roughly. You're now into this sport. Am I mathing? Is my mathing out right?
Good 35. 35 years.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
Right. So that would have put right in the early 90s then.
Yeah, 90s.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. So what's been some of y'all's let's go with the most successful hounds that y'all have had. What some of y'all's definitely, obviously at some point during those 35 years you've had some success. What's some of y'all's most successful hounds that each of y'all have had, personally?
Well, we've had you go back to we're going to go back to now. I mean, going back into the 90s, I had some dogs. I had some litter mates called Detonator in Tennessee. They won multiple outside hunts. I won the New Central Virginia, I think, in 1999.
Okay.
And that was around Lake Anna up there on Red Fox.
I got you. Okay.
I won the Southwest Virginia on the outside up there at Big Game Mountain. They used to be outside hunt July the 4th. That was in should have been maybe July of 2000.
Okay.
Up there around Big Game Mountain in those mountains. That was interesting. But some of the best ones, I let Benjamin them change our kennel name there. But we used to be called Big Oaks Kennel, years ago.
Okay.
Big Oaks Kennel was the name. So you go back 2005, 6, about 6 and 7. I think 2007, we had a hound called Big Oaks Hammer. He actually won the biggest Masters there's ever been. It was at Pumpercoat. I think there was 576 dogs at the 2007 Masters. And
no kidding.
Hammer won that one. Hammer was a dog that he got his name or called. He either categoried or HCA placed at 20 out of 21 field trials.
No kidding.
He was one of the best hounds I ever put a collar on. Yes, 20 out of 21. And we talking about back in field trial era where, like I said, 576 dogs was at the Masters at Pamlico 21.
Yeah, that's turning and
and,
burning.
Yeah, in that round right there, we had a hammer and we had a dog called Big Oaks Ellie Mae. If you go back, I think dog just got put into the Hall of Fame. CMK Calvary.
Yep.
He's actually that grandpup off of Ellie Mae.
Okay.
Ellie Mae was finished 5th in the Hound of the Year 2 years in a row. Was like 7th or 3rd. That's the type of dog she was.
Gotcha.
You went to a hunt. Those two dogs, you was gonna get your name called.
Guaranteed.
That was some of the dogs of old.
Right.
And Benjamin could speak of some of the newer ones here.
Well, probably the one in the last 12 to 15 years. We had a male dog called we named him Hollow Oaks Hawkers.
Okay.
He was out of PC's Andy, old wood chopper breeding.
Okay.
Some of the Corbett's that live right here in South Carolina.
Yep.
I know you've heard of PC's wood chopper.
Yep.
You've probably seen it on some pedigrees.
Yep.
PC's Andy. He we were able to breed him some and get some gyps off of him because I really liked his potential before he got hurt. He got hurt on me at Forreston one year, and I was not able to field trial him as much as I wanted to.
Right.
So we were able to breed a few females to him, and they done well. I actually won the South Carolina State. We won the South Carolina State, and I think it was 19. Does that sound right? 19. With a male called Hollow Oak Stripes.
Okay.
He won the South Carolina State. We also had another gyp, Hollow Oaks Black Betty, which is out of him, and one of Jason Rocker's females. We also dual championed her off of him. So we had various other ones that done well for us. I can name one. I had a gyp called Two Tone.
Yep. Okay.
She done very well for us, and she was out of him. So that's just one that's a male that produced us some pretty good dogs. Over the last 10 years, I should say.
Right. So I gotta know. So the Big Oaks Kennels, where did that name come from?
Big Oaks Kennels, back when we first got married, me and my wife there, we started the Big Oaks Kennels. We had a bunch of big oaks in our yard, and that's just where it come from. Big Oaks,
Simple enough.
Was in our yard and around our kennels, and that's where it come from.
All right. Now, Ben, where is the name change and why the name change?
Well, we had a friend of ours that was getting into field trialing, and he wanted to run with us, and he was all about going to some field trials and all, and we combined two names and made it Hollow Oaks Kennels, and that's just what stuck with us since trying to think of the year, what 2012ish, 13ish,
Gotcha.
2012, I'm a guess. Is probably when we started with that.
Okay.
And we just combined two and made it Hollow Oaks, and we just stuck with that ever since.
I gotcha.
So that's just what we've stuck with, and that's what we'll keep for a while.
There you go.
I don't plan on changing it anyway.
If you do, at least you got to revert back to the Big Oaks.
That's right.
Well, some of the Big Oaks have got old and have got a little hollow and maybe even been close to dying out. I told them, I said, well, it was Big Oaks and they might have got hollow, but we're not going to die out.
That's right. I always like hearing, there's so many unique names out there for kennels and things like that. It seems like there's always a good story behind, especially ones that are like objects surrounded. So, no, that's pretty cool.
Yes, sir.
All right, obviously you've had, like we just talked about, y'all have had some successful hounds, but successful doesn't always mean it's your favorite. Is there any hound that's not that you didn't mention that is one of your favorite hounds? Yeah, that's a tough one, ain't it? The Hounds Tales podcast is happy to announce our newest partnership with Low 10 Outfitters. If your kennel is looking for new apparel to rock to the next field trial, look no further than Low 10 Outfitters. They offer shirts, hats, hoodies, coats, and other accessories with custom logos for your kennel or your hound to go on. With top quality merchandise and long-lasting quality, you can't go wrong with Low 10 Outfitters. And very soon we will be offering Hounds Tale podcast apparel on their website at low10outfitters.com. So be on the lookout for that coming up here soon. Thank you, Low 10 Outfitters, for teaming up with the Hounds Tales podcast. And don't forget, guys, low10outfitters.com to get your apparel for your kennels. Now, let's get you back to your episode.
Well, we go back to Hawk. Hawk was he produced a lot of our dogs, a lot of our good dogs over the years.
Okay.
And Hawk, he placed a time or two before we got hurt, but we do deer hunt some on the outside, and Hawk was probably one of the best deer dogs we ever put a collar on.
Gotcha.
He was just unbelievable how he could run a deer, and I've always been. My grandpa taught me that always your best. You're always looking for traits in dogs that might cross out, and that's what I told Benjamin just by watching him on how he was. We tried to cross different females with him
right.
that might produce something just by watching him on some of his traits he had. So
yeah,
took a lot of my breeding. My grandpa's outside fox hunted in the years past, and they didn't competition hunt, but they actually. I can tell you that I listened to them tell the stories of hooking up the wagon and running fox all night long, and coming back in with the wagon the next morning.
Yep.
So the fox hunting's in our blood, but I try to be smart and go back to some of the stuff that he taught me as a breeder and some traits he taught me to look for. And I've tried to put that together with some of the stuff we've crossed in and out over the years, and that's been successful for us. But Hawk was one of those that just, like I said, he was not a champion, and that's why I brought it back up. He was not a champion, but he's one of our best stud dogs just because, he was one of our favorite dogs to run too, though.
Right. I sound like he might have been, if you're talking kind of the way you're talking about how the running is and, that kind of that old school style. I guess he was probably a very tough and gritty hound.
Yes.
Yep.
Very much so.
Yep. Now, what about you, Paul? Ben, I'm sorry.
He would be one of my top ones. As far as
right.
having one that didn't have as good a career as his career kind of ended short on him, but was able to get some pups off of him and able to, I guess you could say, help us out along the way and get us some good young dogs and
right.
and keep on trying to improve.
Yep. That's something I can admire too. Is a lot of guys. How do I say this nicely? Aren't paying enough attention to a dog that when it does get hurt early can say, that dog is worth breeding to. Just because he's hurt doesn't mean he's useless. That to me, I can respect that a lot because y'all are watching your dogs and what you're looking at. And obviously, even though he didn't have the numbers and the stats behind him, y'all saw something in that dog at a young age that said, okay, we can pass this along, and these traits will carry over. I got a ton of respect for that. It's a very hard thing. You don't really see that a whole lot. It seems like nowadays.
Yes, sir.
All right. So before we get to the closing topic, this one's going to be a big one, and I can't wait to talk about this one a little bit. But bucket list items. Y'all been in the sport for a long time. What's left to go do, or what's left that you want to check off the list?
We've and obviously listening to Dad talk, he was able to go to some hunts in some areas that maybe they don't have as many of them now as they do now.
Right.
But I would love to maybe hit a few more hunts that maybe a pen or two that I haven't been to. Maybe venture out to another hunt on the outside, that I may not have had a chance to go to. I've been fortunate enough to go to Grenada.
Mm-hmm.
And, I made a good many pens. I was able to go to the pen in Sweetwater, Tennessee.
Okay.
Enjoyed that one very much so. But as far as bucket items, I would love to visit a few more pens that I hadn't been to, and be able to meet some more fox hunters and just do my part in helping the sport.
I respect that a lot. A lot of respect for that.
Got anything to add?
I've been blessed. I'm 51 years old, but I've been blessed. I've been from Arkansas to Louisiana to Virginia. Mastered hunts in just about all those, all the states. I've mastered All-American and Nationals and most state hunts. I've enjoyed all of it, but I just just hope the Lord allowed us to keep going and continue, like Benjamin said, to meet people.
Perfect. I love that. I've got a ton of respect for that. That's a very humble answer, and I respect that a lot. So right here, before we get things wrapped up, we're getting here closer towards the end on this one. Before we go into this, are we missing anything? Did we skip over anything? Was there anything else y'all wanted to touch on before we get into the closing topic?
I think just looking over, I think we covered most everything, unless, Paul, you have something else. I think we've covered everything so far.
Perfect. I thought we had hit on a pretty decent. Just wanted to make sure. Yep. All right, y'all, now it's time for Around the How, presented by Elite Nutrition. Just make sure you check out their products, Elite Nutrition products, at CajunLights.com. And for 10% off of Elite Nutrition products, when you use the code HTELITE and the number 10, that's HT Elite 10 at checkout. All right, let's get it rocking. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Around the How, presented by Elite Nutrition. Just going to do a little recap of the weekend that we had at the Southeastern FHA down at Billy Pools. I tell you what, this is one that I've been doing and going to and judging for a few years now, a few years in a row. I've been very honored that I keep getting invited back to judge, and I can't thank the guys that are a part of this organization, guys and gals. Of course, Miss Amy Adams is probably the ringleader of this, and she does a great job with everything. And can't forget Lee Perkins and Tyler Mullins, and then everybody else that's involved with this hunt. Those guys do an excellent job putting on a fantastic hunt. This is a tough time of the year for a fox hunt. As most everybody knows that does or is involved with the sport, or if you know anything about the foxes, it's getting close to mating season. So a lot of these foxes, or any female foxes, are going to be hunkered down. They're not going to be coming out. They're not going to be getting ran. So it makes it a little difficult on keeping the chases alive. But I tell you what, Demo's got the pen in excellent shape. And for the time of the year and all daylight running, I was very, very impressed. It may not have been a barn burner the entire time, but most of the time we were getting chases. And hats off to Demo for having the pen in such great shape. Him and Mr. Eddie, of course, are doing a great job with the pen and keeping everything in tip-top shape. So I will say one of my favorite things about this hunt that I get to enjoy is the years of experience in the judges' room that I'm surrounded by every time I go in there. It is an honor to be around some of these guys, and from all varieties of ages, but a lot of these judges are guys that have been in the sport for a long time. I'm not calling anybody old or anything like that. I mean this with the utmost respect, but a lot of these guys have been around for, heck, some of them have been judging for longer than I've been alive. So it's really an experience to be in that judge's room with such, such experience and such well-known judges. And this, again, it goes from all ages. Of course, our Master of Hounds was Mr. Blair Dalton. That was definitely an honor, getting to work one-on-one with him, and really kind of pay attention to how he runs the show and how he does things. And of course his assistant, Mr. Clint Thompson, old Catfish, was down there, did a great job with helping out on everything as far as with the mastering and helping Mr. Dalton out. Then of course you had all your other judges that were there, like Mr. Cody Hawkins, Kelly Meadows, J-Mo, John Molnar. One that was an honor, he just got inducted to the Hall of Fame, Mr. Pete Warren. Was down there. Then, of course, Mr. Bill McGee was there, Skeeter Holloway, and I mean, there were so many more judges that we had down there that were just an honor to be around. So that's one of my favorite things. And then something that I got to experience for the first time. I've helped out with a few bench shows, but this time I got to actually be the bench show judge, the master for the bench show judge. And that was an experience. There's a lot of beautiful hounds down there, a lot of very talented hounds, men and women, showing their hounds. And I really did enjoy that. I'm sure you've heard me mention it before on here that I really enjoy a bench show. I love a bench show. I love a bench show dog. Of course, I like a dog that can do it both. You know, I don't want just a bench show dog. That I'm not a fan of. If he can't run something, then he's not gonna be a part of my life. But I do like a dog that knows how to stand and stand properly, and looks good while he's out there in the field. So it was definitely an honor to be able to do that. And I can't thank the Southeastern organization for giving me the opportunity to be the bench show judge. I really did enjoy that, and I hope everybody was pleased with the choice. After Hours sure does bring some pretty hounds down there. They're going to be very, very hard to beat, I believe, for a while. There were some other dogs that were really, really close, and it was definitely not a walk in the park by any means. There were some beautiful hounds down there, but After Hours sure did show them and do it right, and they had some beautiful dogs that just, man, they were just, gosh, they're good-looking units. But again, I can't thank the Southeastern enough for allowing me the chance to do this. Let's see. Let's move on to the Western Derby that is coming up at G&H Fox Pen in Grapevine, Arkansas. Ought to be a good little hunt down there. That is the next hunt on the radar. I forgot to go through and look on some of the other hunts, but that's the first one I've seen. Let's see what else we got on the agenda. The 2-day Derby that we are hosting at Pools in April. It's right around the corner. We will be doing the auction for the numbers and the live draw next weekend. That's going to be fun. I can't wait to do that. It's going to be something a little interactive that everybody can get together with us and enjoy it and have a good time. So we'll be doing that next. Sorry, thought I heard my kid crying upstairs. I got to turn my camera on real quick. Apologize for the slight delay there. But that's something I'm looking forward to for next week. And next weekend coming up. And I surely do look forward to that. I tell you, me and Peyton have been talking about it. We've been getting all our ducks in a row and getting everything ready for it. And I believe, I'd like to really go through and actually find out what the biggest one is. But if I'm not mistaken, I think this is going to be the biggest 2-day Derby, one-class hunt that's probably been held. If not the biggest, it's going to be one of the biggest. We're talking 350 dogs down there that are all one class. So you better have your stuff together for this hunt. So I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to it, and we can't wait to get this show on the road. Me, Peyton, and Demo have been working our butts off trying to get this thing ready. So. Hope everybody that's able to come is going to enjoy it. I know we got a great group of judges lined up, a bunch of hustlers. So y'all just be ready for that. And sorry, setting my camera up for watch him while down here doing this. Excuse me, guys. But that's about all I got for that hunt. I do believe the book is full now. I know we had posted, I'm recording on Tuesday right before we dropped this episode, but I know I had posted that we still had some numbers left, but those filled up pretty much a few minutes after. So, y'all, if you missed it, sorry you missed it, shouldn't have lollygagged. Next time, you better send your money in fast. But speaking of which, let's move on to the series. We are getting closer. We still got some time, but keep in mind that if you are willing to judge for me this year, I am doing the trade-off. Just, let me know. I'll do a hunt for a hunt. If you judge a hunt, you can run a hunt. And I'll make sure I put you at the top of the list and make sure you get your numbers. So just get in contact with me. You can start contacting me now if you want to. I've got my book with me almost at all times, so I can write everybody down that reaches out to me. So if that's something that you are interested in, please reach out and let me know. But I do believe that is it for the Around the House section for right now. We're going to be keeping up with as much stuff as we possibly can, especially upcoming hunts in the fields and different things going on. So let's go ahead and move on into the next section, which is the Spotlight presented by Cajun Lights. It's now time for the Spotlight presented by Cajun Lights. This is where each week we will recognize winners and other accomplishments across the field trial world. Now let's shine a light on these guys and these dogs, and let's get to this week's winners. All right, here we go. Spotlight presented by Cajun Lights for March 12th, 2025. We're going to start with the 2025 Hunter's Horn American Derby Classic at J&J Fox Pen in Picayune, Mississippi. I believe I said that right. I know every year, every episode that name comes up, I always question it. So I hope that I'm not destroying it. We'll start with the bench show, and I got as much information that I could. Wasn't a lot of information out there on it. The best opposite sex was Hound number 97. Didn't see a name on this Hound, but it was out of, or maybe this is the name. I guess it's ISK's Melina from Indian Spring Kennels. And then the best in show was, oh man, what a name. Vander Linden's Tony from Vander Linden's Kennels. Congratulations to both of y'all on y'all's bench show down there. And in the field champion, I don't ever know which way I want to do this. If I want to do field champion or dual champion to start. But if I'm looking at everything correctly, the field champion, we'll start with the field champion. With 1,252 GTP was Eastman's Toodles. And that dog is out of Webb's Chili Man and Lane's Joy W from Eastman Kennels. And the dual champion is ISK's Lemonade. That dog is out of Champion Kyle's Trigger and Champion ISK Sue from Indian Creek Kennels. That hound was also second in the field with 1,222 GTP points. So missed out on the field / duel by one crossing. One second place crossing, you'd have had it. But that's all I got for that hunt. Looks like the squadron was great down there. So congratulations to everybody that placed. And then moving on to the Southeastern FHA, and this was at Pools Foxhound Trading Preserve in Jarrett, Virginia. I know a lot of times I used to say Emporium, but I think it's technically Jarrett is where it's actually at. But 6 1/2 a dozen is practically all the same. Anyway, let's start with the bench show, guys. And like I said, it was an after-hour show down there, and I know I did not mean to do that. It just happened. So the best opposite sex was After Hours Oliver. That is an After Hours Billy and After Hours Dottie dog. And then the best in show was Champion After Hours Hazel. That dog's out of Spears Mountain Sergeant and After Hours Dottie. Both of those dogs, like I said, are After Hours Kennels. So congratulations, guys. Beautiful hounds. And it was an honor being able to make y'all a bench champion. I think, again, if I'm not mistaken. So moving on to the Derby class. The best mouth was Century Oaks Little Girl. That dog's out of Silver Bullets Big Stick and Champion Atkins Runt Runt. The combination winner was Lil Mule's Combine, and that dog's out of Champion Lil Mule's John Deere and Lil Mule's Mary Kate. The hound was second HGA, first speed, and second endurance. I don't remember where it ended up on the bench, but it was on the bench up there. Then the Derby winner was Rhino's Wishbone. That dog is out of Champion Clybourne Zeke and Fat Girl Snake Doctor from Larkin and Webb Gregory. That dog was also voted as the classiest hound. It was third hunting, fifth speed, and first endurance. I got to watch that dog work down there, and oh man, I had to talk to him after the hunt. That dog was the thing of beauty watching out there in the field. Man, that was a good-looking dog out there. But maybe one day I can have me something like that. It was a beautiful dog, really beautiful dog. Moving on to the all age, the best mouth was Jay Burns' Christine M, and that dog is out of Wallace's Hitman and Champion Atkins Runt Runt from Virginia Breeze Kennel. Then the classiest hound went to Haven's Lulu. That dog was out of Sims Dillinger and Haven's Dixie from Haven Kennels. That dog was 5th HGA, first hunting, and 5th endurance. Then your combination winner was After Hours Rip. The dog was out of After Hours AJ and Copeland's Emma Jean from After Hours Kennels. That dog was 10th HGA and 4th hunting. And your field champion, your field champion. That dog was Explorer Ridge Flipper from Enoch's Lucky and Concentric Oaks Ghost from Explorer Ridge Kennels. The dog was 2nd hunting, 1st trailing, and 6th endurance. Had a last day trailing score given out for that dog, and but he was doing the work, doing what he needed to do, and he was not far out on the speed and drive either. So I don't want anybody to think that this was a field champion made by a simple hunting score and trailing score. This dog was actually pretty decently setting in the speed and drive points as well. So congratulations to y'all on y'all's new field champion. Excuse me. Congratulations to everybody that placed down there. So I believe that is all I have for this week as far as results go. Again, guys, if you are listening and want your results posted, please send them to me with a good, clear picture, or at least let me know what they say if they couldn't get a good picture. And we'll be sure to get them on here. So now we're going to move into the listener questions presented by the Southern Hound Hunting Magazine. Here we go. It's time for the listener question section presented by the Southern Hound Hunting Magazine. If you're looking for a magazine that reaches all of all things hound hunting, the Southern Hound Hunting Magazine has it. From foxhounds, deer dogs, hog dogs, small game dogs, you name it, the Southern Hound Hunting Magazine has it. Visit their website today at southernhoundhunting.com to get a 1-year subscription of quarterly magazines for just $20. Now let's get to these questions and we'll discuss these topics that y'all have sent in. Thank y'all so much, Southern Hound Hunting Magazine, for your partnership.
So the closing topic, I always, with my guest, I always try to give them some choices, and I always leave an option open for something that the guests themselves want to bring to the table. And y'all wanted to talk about the South Carolina Sporting Dog Association. So I'll kind of let y'all take the wheels on that and talk about what it is and the importance of it down in y'all's way.
Oh yeah, well it's important anywhere, any state right now.
Right.
But I am the acting president of the South Carolina Sporting Dog Association. The Sporting Dog Association was established back in the 80s by a couple of older fellas. And I was actually talking to one of them yesterday, and he was talking about it. And but we took it back up and kind of tried to take it to a different level. And I'm very appreciative of the work we've been able to do here. But the South Carolina Sporting Dog Association, we have a lobbyist group that we pay to stay in Columbia and try to stay on top of the laws and try to make sure we can keep this sport legal. My goal is for my grandkids and for everybody else's grandkids and for any youngins to be able to enjoy and work through any problems, to be able to enjoy the art and watch dogs work. That's the thing that I love. I love to watch dogs work. It don't matter. I actually, the last 2 days, I just got through been mastering the male side of the World Cup outside Beagle trial.
Okay.
And we got through with that just a little bit ago before we got on this call.
Yep.
And whether it's beagles, whether it's a coon dog, and I've done it all. I mean, I've had rabbit dogs, I've had bird dogs, I've had coon dogs. I love to see hounds work. And anything I can do to help protect that sport, and I try to tell people every day, do everything you can to protect it, not hurt it.
Right.
Be smart what you put on social media.
Major.
Be very smart what you put on social media. Be smart working with your neighbors. You have to take a lot and give a lot nowadays to be able to do what we do.
For sure.
But that's our goal, just to be able to keep it alive and keep it afloat. We've got a good group that's on our board, and we've got a good group of hunters that help us. Our annual banquet. We'll have the banquet on March the 8th. We have good many senators and legislators will be coming, and a new DNR director, so we'll try to make a good showing for that. But very appreciative of what we have going. We was actually there in Columbia 2 weeks ago. Last week, me and my wife, we had several senators walk up to us and tell us thank you for what we're doing, and this not just us, but as our group.
Right.
The group has really made a lot of headway and earned a lot of respect over the last little bit.
Awesome.
So, just very, very appreciative of what we've been able to do for that.
Great. That's awesome. Now, if somebody that's listening wants to be involved, what's a good way to get involved with the South Carolina Sport Dog Association?
You go on Facebook and pull up South Carolina Sport Dog Association. Whether you're from South Carolina, North Carolina, if you enjoy the sport, if you come to any field trials, you don't have to be from South Carolina to be a member. We actually support other states and stuff when it comes to this ourselves, but you can support it. Our membership, you go on Facebook, it's set up very easy. You can go on there and sign up and give you information, become a member. And like I said, very easy. We have a system set up there, and but yeah, it's very crucial that especially our in-state hunters that we need to really support the Sport and Dog Association. And like I said, if you're out of state, you don't have to be from South Carolina to support it. Just South Carolina Sport and Dog Association on Facebook.
Awesome. Now, is that something y'all have chapters and stuff like that for, or is that just a big organization right now?
It's a statewide organization right now. That's right.
Gotcha. I didn't know. I know up here we have chapters with the Virginia Hunting Dog Alliance. I didn't know if y'all were kind of set up the same way or not.
We hadn't branched out quite that far yet, but we're in the process. We'll hopefully be doing that a little bit later, but we hadn't got that far yet, but we'll be there shortly, hopefully.
Awesome. I love that. I think what y'all are doing with that is awesome, and it's not an easy task, and you know that. But anybody listening, man, putting on or being president and leading something like that is not easy. It's a lot of time involved with it, a lot of headache, but it's worth it in the end. So definitely hats off to y'all and appreciate y'all doing that on top of everything else you have going on.
We have one of your local Virginians coming to play, Carson Robertson.
Carson, yeah.
He's coming down to play for us, so that's awesome. Looking forward to having him.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. He really is. He's top notch. And I think he's, I know he's more than just music too. He does a lot as far as supporting the field trialing and the outside hunting and stuff like that. He does.
That's right.
He does a whole lot. So that's awesome. Y'all got him coming down there to play. Hopefully,
yes, sir.
Hopefully don't get no more winter storms and his actual job mess him up.
Yeah, hoping not. I know y'all tired of that up there for sure.
I'm sick of it. God, I could go another couple years without seeing a snowdrop.
I guarantee it. That weather's been something this year.
It's been terrible. So, I think that pretty much wraps it up. I definitely, like I said, I appreciate y'all coming on, and thank y'all so much. This is something I believe it needs to be said. It's not easy doing what y'all are doing. Y'all are doing a lot for the sport. People, and there's not one person that I've talked to that has anything negative to say about you or your family. It's all nothing but respect, and I have a ton of respect for y'all and anybody that's involved in this sport and dog hunting in general. Y'all have definitely earned the respect from everybody. So I just want to say on behalf of me and a lot of people that are listening, thank y'all for everything that y'all do, from the Sport and Dog Association to the pen, the hunts and judging, helping out, everything else y'all do. We definitely appreciate everything that y'all do.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Everything I can do, and anything I can do to help our sport, to promote it, to help it grow, to see it succeed in any way, I'll do anything I can to help it.
Awesome. I definitely appreciate that. So before we get off here, is there any last minute shout outs or any thanks that y'all want to give to anybody out there that might be listening?
I think we're good. I appreciate the time. I thank you for allowing us to do this.
Absolutely.
I hope everyone enjoys it.
Yep.
I appreciate all the friends and people we've met over the years. Me and my wife have a little saying that we could break down anywhere from Virginia to Louisiana and call somebody, and probably in about 30 minutes somebody would come pick us up.
That's right.
So I do appreciate all the friends. Met a lot of friends over the years, and long lasting friends, and I appreciate them.
Yes, sir. Well, hopefully I'll get the chance to get down to y'all's pen here soon. I don't know how soon, but maybe one of these days here soon I'll be able to make it down, make the long drive down there, and see what I can see how bad y'all can skin me up down there.
Hey, we look forward to seeing you come down if you can make it.
Absolutely. So everybody out there listening, thank y'all so much again. And again, it was a big honor to have both of y'all on here. So anybody that's interested, make sure you check out the South Carolina Sporting Dog Association. Become a member. Give them all the support. Any kind of association from any state, you need to be sure to at least be a member. At least try to, But now that we're talking on the South Carolina Sport Dog Association, be sure to check them out. Check them out on Facebook. Check out the All-American Foxhound race. Then of course you can get to a hunt down at the Big Rock. Y'all be sure to do that. So everybody out there listening, thank y'all so much, and like always, guys, happy hunting.